Hello everyone, thank you so much for taking the time to join me for this speed paint video. I'm trying something a little bit different for this painting. This is going to be the start of a series of original paintings. As you know, I have been doing a fair few commissions and this is a refreshing change for me. In a lot of my earlier work, I noticed something was missing and that something was composition. I've always found subjects that inspired me, a beautiful flower, an interesting branch, a striking light pattern, and I jumped straight into painting. But I rarely took the time to really plan out the structure of the piece. I didn't stop to ask, where should the eye go, or what's the visual story here? This year, one of my biggest goals as an artist was to slow down and learn how to plan my work more intentionally, to find a stronger visual voice. And for me, that starts before the brush ever touches the canvas. I think that when we first embark on our journey as artists, there is a common misconception that intellectualizing the process or using different tools and techniques can in some way take away from the authenticity or emotional spontaneity of the work. But over time, I've come to realize that structure doesn't stifle creativity, it supports it. The more I understand composition, value, and form, the more freedom I have to express myself with intention and clarity. Thoughtful planning doesn't dull the soul of the work. It helps it speak louder. Designing the composition first gives the painting a clear visual roadmap. It helps guide the viewer's eye and enhance overall impact of the piece. A well thought out composition creates balance, focus, and harmony, making the whole painting feel unified and intentional. A good composition could make or break your piece. For this painting, I pre-composed the reference using Procreate. I was cutting up and moving sections of the image around on the canvas until things started to feel right. I wanted to guide the viewer's gaze gently and create a sense of ease and openness. The negative space around the main subject adds breathing room, and small pops of soft complementary colours hint at blossoms fading into the background, helping to balance the composition diagonally. I've also been experimenting more with edge contrast, adjusting values and saturation in the background to create subtle shifts that add depth without stealing focus. Good composition often links back to things like the rule of thirds or the golden ratio. And for this piece, I used what's called a harmonic armature to place key elements. I first learned about harmonic armatures from the book Classical Drawing by Juliette, which I am slowly working my way through, and honestly, it's been such a helpful tool so far. I'm still not entirely sure how I feel about reducing composition to just pure math, because I think that there is a lot more to composition as a topic. I've lightly touched on node 10 studies and how arranging values and colors, not just objects, in a picture has a huge effect on the success of a composition. In the broad scheme of things, I am still very much a naive pupil, but I found that implementing ratios like this can make even simple compositions feel like they just work. Whether you're working on a botanical piece, a still life, or a full scene, using a tool like an armature or what is sometimes called a steelyard composition can really help support the structure of your work. If you're curious to learn more about harmonic armatures, Michael Lynn Adams has a fantastic video that breaks it down succinctly. I have linked it in the description below. As well as that, on the use of the golden ratio, I've left a link to an excerpt from the lecture by Myron Barnstone that I found as captivating as it is practical. During the whole process of this painting, I think my longest sitting was done over a weekend where I spent a good 10 to 11 hours working on the flower itself. Everything is sort of sped up and cut out, but there is a fair bit of time here because as I was working on this flower, I did have to sit down for quite an extended sitting over a weekend to make sure that the paint was still wet enough to blend between areas of the blossom. I think that the most time-consuming portion of this painting was the blossom itself with all those fine details. I had finished the majority of that work in a couple of sittings over a single weekend. I did need to set aside quite a bit of time to do this. I think all in all, it had added up to 14 hours just on the blossom itself. And I do think it was worth it at the end of the day. Those sittings were very tiring, but I couldn't really figure out any other way around it other than direct painting because I needed that whole area to be wet while I was working through all of the details of that. Quite the opposite was this more diffused blossom that is placed in the background, has a lot more blurry edges, and I had the opportunity to paint a lot looser and more impressionistic in this area. As well as the placement of the actual elements within the piece, I really wanted to focus on edge control and adding more sharpness to where I wanted the viewer's attention the most, and areas of interest in the background that are balanced but don't necessarily steal the focus away. In the past, I have found it difficult to decide where I want hard and soft edges, and I have neglected to use soft edges altogether. So this is new for me. I think that during my time working on this painting, I've grown a lot as an artist because I'm not only just thinking about copying a photo, I'm thinking about how I can control the viewer's eye and evoke a certain feeling with my paintings. I really wanted a sense of focusing down on the pinpoint details in the front blossom and then giving this very airy and breathy vibe to everything in the background, almost as if this little moment with the flower having the dewdrops fall off the leaves is sort of frozen in time, and I am really happy with the outcome. I think that working for yourself and creating a painting that better illustrates your vision as an artist is so rewarding. I think that having an idea and seeing that actually come to fruition as an artist is one of the most rewarding experiences that we can have. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about how I can better create a unique artistic voice for myself, and a big part of this is creating a cohesive body of work. I've really been trying to find subjects that inspire me and sit with them for a bit longer than I ordinarily would have. I feel like in the past I've gotten inspiration from subjects, painted it, and then quickly moved along to the next thing. And it's very much like me. It's hard to sort of stay interested in something when I feel like I've already done it. But I still think it's a really valuable thing as artists to find a subject that you find interesting and repeat it. Through that repetition, you are building a portfolio for exhibitions, but you're also bringing cohesion and narrative to your work as a whole. Because the subject is familiar, you can take creative risks with how you approach it, abstracting forms, changing lighting, and trying a new medium or surface. It gives you room to grow without starting from scratch every time. As well as this, I've found that painting similar subjects over and over again helps you refine specific skills in your practice. Things like edge control, color mixing, or handling values without being so overwhelmed by all the new variables and all of the sort of decision fatigue that you get from tackling a completely new thing in your art. Alrighty guys, I am at the end stages of filming and editing this video, and I've only just now realised that I haven't actually recorded any footage of the final product. Without further ado, here is the finished painting. Now, there is still a little bit of work to do before this painting is ready to go up on the website and be listed for sale. I think I still want to oil out some areas of the shadow in the water once it's completely dry. I will then have to let that cure before it's ready to varnish. I still need to clean up the sides of the canvas and add a crossbar on the back so it's ready to hang as well. So there is still a fair bit to do there, but for the time being, the actual painting part of this is completely done. I am really quite happy with the outcome, and this is the first in a series of native Australian florals that will be coming out as a collection soon. In my next video, I will be painting a silver princess gum tree blossom, and I'm really excited for that. I'm loving the colours of that one so far, so stay tuned for the next video. I would like to extend a really big thank you if you're still here and watch the whole video, listening to me ramble on and watch the process of this painting. Your viewership means a lot to me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I hope that you have a great day ahead.